Right here with my man Noreik Thascool.
What up, y'all? How y'all doing? Black and Brown Podcast.
Got through doing Black and Brown Movement Radio Podcast, episode 25, you know what I'm saying? 25. Right here, you hear my man's music in the background, you know what I'm saying? Black Brown Movement 88, YouTube channel. You'll see that shit, you know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Alright, y'all, we back, man. We back from that break, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the growth from my man Noreik Thascool, you know what I'm saying, on the EP, the 1000. And we are back, man. We're going to get into, actually, we're going to get into our sports segment. And then we'll do our top 5, and then, we'll get up out of here. But, every time we start off our sports segment, what do we usually do, fellas? We talk about our what?
Lakers. Ya sabes.
So yeah, man, we've been having some issues with LeBron out and Rondo out. Kuzma's out for a minute. We've had a lot of injuries this year. This is the longest I think LeBron's been out in his career injury-wise. So, obviously
they ain't did great, but they doing all right.
Yeah.
They holding their own for
5 out of 10.
They holding their own for a young crew.
Yeah.
I feel like that we kind of expected this for this year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're still ironing out the kinks.
Yeah. I think what happened was when we got to a certain groove and we got in a record where we were at a certain place in the Western Conference standings.
Like number 5.
Right.
Number 4.
Or at one point even, we started having even higher expectations than like what you said, what we thought of before the season. And then when the injuries happened and we started falling, now we're out of the playoff picture, record-wise, then, people start having certain feelings or whatever, but...
Those are not real Lakers fans. Let's just speak on that for real.
But it's not just fans, though, because, I just stay up on Bleacher, I'm a sportsman.
Listen, all them analysts...
No.
They
No, I get you on that, and I agree with you.
There's too many undercover Laker haters.
Yeah.
Let's just put that out there.
I agree with you on that completely. I'm talking about some shit I've heard where, and they say it hasn't come from LeBron's mouth, but they say that his camp wants Luke Walton gone.
I heard about that.
And then, besides that, the trade deadline's coming up on February 7th. So they're
My
saying...
daughter's birthday should be 25.
Right.
Episode 25.
Right. And they're saying that Magic and Pelinka are looking at, within the trade deadline, to do two things. Either upgrade us enough to help us to get into the playoffs or get that second star for LeBron. And trying to do that within the trade deadline. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, they're talking about getting Carmelo over there, I heard.
Yeah, they're talking about that.
Hell no. We don't need no Carmelo.
Go. I heard that. Well, it's not the Lakers, really. It's LeBron.
Yeah, I mean,
that's his Banana Bro brother. He wants him on the team. He wants to play with him. He hasn't played with him.
Well, they play together in the Olympics.
Yeah, you play at All-Star, you play at Olympics, you play in your backyard, you're good. You feel me? Like, don't bring that shit over here.
Yeah, no,
he's not
perfect when it goes to
who's going to be a coach? If you get rid of Luke, who's going to be the coach?
Why would you get rid of Luke, though, when he's built this chemistry with this squad?
I feel like
that's
Luke
like what
has been there for us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's no reason to get rid of him in the sense, if we have all of the best players, and we're still losing, then okay, all right, we can talk about it. But we're in the middle of our rebuild, and we know that we're in the middle of our rebuild, and
we're
Luke
doing
stepped up
good.
and we didn't have nobody.
The worst thing, too, though, is we're already in the middle of the season, and so you're talking about that, so what are you going to do? The fuck you
do
gonna
what?
do?
You're going to blame him? You're going to blame him for lack of production from the players?
And that's not going to be any different,
Because Brian Shaw's going to work
you got to at least give him the full season, see what happens from there. If you want to evaluate it from there, I can see that.
I give him 2, honestly. You got to give him 2.
This is what I'm going to say. What I've learned from watching this new generation of coaches in the NFL. Y'all better stop playing and keep that young coach with them young kids.
Yeah.
Because that shit is showing productivity and runs to championships. You old coaches, y'all are not open-minded to adjustments to the new game of new players. So therefore, your teams are not advancing as far as they actually could. Simple as plain.
I feel you, and I even agree with you, but let me play devil's advocate and let me give you information that I've gotten, off the web, off of Bleacher and whatnot. And that information is this. they're already talking about trading whoever, even Kyle Kuzma. Even,
everybody's available to be on the trade.
Magic ain't never changing on that one.
They're talking about of course for like AD or you know what I'm saying.
We can get a brand new team basically.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And so they're saying they want to bring in that second star to pair with LeBron and build whatever around them and go for the fucking championship.
I mean, I could dig it.
And that's what they're talking about. And then as far as coach-wise, it might be somebody like a Mark Jackson.
Yeah, he deserves a shot.
You know what I'm saying?
He got ripped off up there in Golden State.
So
he started that whole
that's
thing
kind of
and
what
built
they're looking at. You know what I'm saying? And if that happens, that goes.
Curry's getting all the credit.
It kind of goes against what you're saying, which I agree with. But they're more looking at winning now and not having the patience and LeBron getting older and all this.
Yeah, nobody's looking at longevity. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel them. We're in a society now where like we
ain't had one in a minute. So that's
we just need results.
Yeah,
we need results.
So 2019, that's 10 years.
My whole thing is that we don't want our desperation to show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what's showing up. That is what's showing up.
2 years ago, the same thing happened, and all the players were like, nah, we good.
Hey, it's funny, though, because I was asking him, I don't know, I think maybe before the podcast, we were talking strategy on the podcast on sports and stuff. And I was like, I don't know how you are up on sports. And he's like, oh, no. This way, you got chiming in on a lot over here. Okay.
I'm on the internet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I may not be like on something specific, but I'm on the internet.
Yeah.
If things are being talked about, I'll kind of have a general idea of what's going on.
And an opinion.
Yeah.
I feel you. And we appreciate that. Cause
you got to be aware, man.
You
got to be aware of what's
So that's our Lakers, man. And I like that, the two sides, man. You got the young core, the young coach. You got that whole thought process, that whole,
I don't really think they need an old coach. I'm telling you. They need a coach, the young type of coach, to keep doing what they're doing. They bring in some old-ass coach, we're going to have issues. I'm telling you. If you go back, I'm going to show you why. Go back in Laker history if you're a real Laker fan. Every time we had young squads, they brought in them old-ass coaches, we sucked ass. But then when you brought a young coach, Rambis, they didn't really know shit. The team played good, but they still had losses. So then Rambis got cut, Magic got cut, but there was productivity.
What about Phil?
Phil, well, that was
the exception?
You can't even, that.
Come on, that's a Zen master, man.
We don't even call him coach. That's like,
we call him Zen master.
He's like John Wooden and shit. You know what I mean? He's just like master of the whole fucking coaching shit.
So,
he's an anomaly.
But, and as you say with the young coach and the young players, but if they get rid of all the young players, then and they bring in more veterans.
But you can't just go off that until you make that happen.
Right.
You gotta have the figures before you fucking get rid of the foundation.
I think what the NBA is trying to do is that they're trying to expand internationally because they can no longer rely on the prospects of the college kids coming into
because
the league.
Of the one and done.
Because of the one and done, and because they're not producing good enough. And they're not training good enough, and there's not enough time. They're pulling from internationally who've already pro over there and bringing them over here, and they're producing.
Example: Luka Doncic. Just the other night had 35 points.
You gotta go back before him.
Rebounds and
you gotta go back before him.
We're talking about right now, though.
New York. But we're talking about these New York kids. The New York kids. Porzingis.
Yeah. The unicorn.
The unicorn.
So like, because they have to get like. Yeah, we have to get this caliber.
They have more experience.
And they're playing with grown men in those leagues
That's
out there
where it makes
in Europe.
So they're trying to keep the caliber going because every draft, only one or two teams are about to get someone new from the draft that's like really important. Off the gate.
Right.
Other
then the
people
talent
are
level
going to
starts dropping as you go higher in the draft.
Exactly.
Okay, so we'll end the NBA and the Lakers on that note. Of course, as we mentioned.
Who'd you pick for the Super Bowl?
I'm going with the Rams, baby.
Yeah, LA. It's LA.
I'm so damn tired.
It's in this house.
So damn tired of the Patriots.
They keep putting them there. Keep putting them there. Keep putting them there.
As we talked about young coaches, we got Sean McVay, and now the rest of the NFL after
trying to do what?
they're getting all these young coaches that on some way, level or another were associated with McVay, just trying to get a piece of that fucking magic, like, you know what I'm saying? Including my Green Bay Packers. You know
not gonna happen.
Well, you know what? Only time will tell.
Only one diamond in the rough.
A lot of commentators have said that. Yeah, a lot of commentators have said that. So, you know, we'll see. When I say we'll see, I guess I gotta say that about my team because they went and did it too. So we'll see.
You didn't have a young coach when you guys did it. McCarthy's guys wasn't young.
No, I'm saying we do now. And we got LaFleur, who's young and was part of the McVay coaching tree. So
who was the last young winning coach to win Super Bowl?
Good question.
Harbaugh? My coach.
Oh, Tomlin. Okay.
Oh, Tomlin.
Yeah.
My coach.
Yeah, Tomlin.
That's what's up. Yeah, so yeah, we Rams, man. We from LA and
that would be the Pittsburgh Steelers if y'all didn't know.
Right.
Black and yellow. Yeah.
NFL team or no?
The Vikings.
Okay.
Vikings. Purple people.
Hey.
Purple people here.
Vikings.
Rivalries right here. Rivalries right here. That's dope.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you didn't see that?
Oh no, I saw.
You silently sitting over there, huh?
That's dope.
I'm repping Lakers today, but they'll tell you I'm always
You see mine hanging over here, Steelers, baby.
You got the Steelers.
I'll just pull out a jersey quick on you.
So,
Man, Thielen,
My
man
blanket.
Diggs, we on.
Yeah, I ain't mad at
Yeah, y'all be back next year.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Y'all got beat up. Y'all had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So that's the NFL right there.
Be effective in the playoffs.
We're going to go on and move to the last LA team that's worth mentioning.
UFC. John Jay is back, folks. Get ready for JJ to finish kicking ass and get his belt back.
Okay. John Jay.
Cormier, get ready.
Hey, Cormier, though, he been winning, though.
He can't beat John Jay.
His little fat, no, he hasn't been able to.
When John Jay wasn't having drug issues.
He's been figuring out how to beat other motherfuckers.
You know what I'm saying? When he wasn't having dope issues, he couldn't beat him.
Nah.
So,
I mean, not too many have.
I mean, who in that division really could?
Yeah.
So, yeah, my boy back, and he helped you. You'll see him February 9th.
How about old ass Pacquiao beating
Dude, I told you.
Broner?
Yeah, Broner.
What did I tell you?
Breaks off, man.
What did I tell you?
You told me.
I said he's gonna knock that ass out. I said Broner's a showboater. He lost his vision as a boxer.
Right.
And became Vinny Paziano. You know what I'm saying? And all the shows. That was it.
Doing too much.
I was like, he's fucked up.
Yeah, so Pacquiao,
once he had the Fashion Nova deal,
see?
I was like, he's not focused.
See?
He's not focused.
Then he coming out with his own rap song while he coming out. Like, this ain't tripping.
And then
He's not trading straight.
Pacquiao's using that to try and get that rematch. For, you know, and
it's gonna try. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's too much money.
They talked about it before this fight even happened.
There's too much money involved, and you know, Mayweather is about
whatever
that money.
Involved.
He ain't passing down no money.
How it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he just beat up a 15-year-old for $9 million.
Right, out there in
Thailand or something like that.
Thailand.
Huh?
Yeah.
I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, it was like a sparring match.
Oh, it was one of those
exhibition.
Like she sit on Rocky.
Like Drago and fucking
promo moment.
Who's my man? Help me out. Creed.
Yeah.
Apollo Creed. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the last LA team worth mentioning right now, even though it's off season and the second World Series we done lost in a row. LA Dodgers.
Blue Crew.
Yeah, they've been having us with the Blues, you know what I'm saying? But they got some, they just signed A.J. Pollock, decent player from Diamondbacks, outfielder.
He's the left field, right?
Center field. Yeah, they traded away Puig, man.
I didn't really like that.
Yeah, a lot of us didn't as fans. We loved him. He's a fan favorite for sure. His production has been better.
Last couple years. Yeah. But it's cool for, you know what I thought about afterwards? It's good for him because now he gets to shine.
Yeah.
He's going to be a starter out there all the time. Yeah. And he's going to really get better and blossom. You know what I mean? So big ups for Puig.
And the Dodgers.
And I like the way he left out too. He gets mad love.
Yeah.
What talks
class.
is,
no, the class.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He appreciates. You
always gotta leave the class.
Yeah.
You can't burn the bridges.
Even
if some bullshit did happen, you gotta still leave the class.
Yeah. No
but you know, some of these cats don't know how to do that.
Oh yeah, I know. And, well, some of them just don't think that people deserve it, and it's like, and that's not what it's about.
Right.
You know, it's not about deserving it. It's about preserving your integrity and preserving
your moral
reputation and everything like that.
So then we also brought back Russell Martin, catcher.
Okay.
He started his career with So we brought him back. He was with the Blue Jays. Yeah. So as a veteran presence, and he's also been playing some other positions besides catching.
Really?
He's been utility catcher, like playing some infield and whatnot with the Blue Jays.
Really?
Yeah, so we're bringing him in. We still got Barnes. They're trying to trade for the kid from Miami, JT Realmuto, he's a really good offensive catcher.
So they're getting ready to let Grandal go.
Grandal's gone already.
He's gone.
Yeah, he got signed by the Brewers.
Well, that's good for him because he sucked ass last year when we needed him.
Yeah, so we let him go in free agency. We got, Martin, but they're looking at getting the other kid. It looks like Machado's definitely gone. And
he left?
Not yet, but he's a free agent.
He's not going to leave.
No, we can't pay him. We can't pay him. He's already seen the Phillies. He's already met with the Phillies, the White Sox, and the Yankees. And so he'll probably be with one of those teams, whichever deal he likes best, I guess.
Why they didn't work it out to be able to keep you?
Because Corey Seager's back.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah, so Corey Seager's back off of injury. The young kid who was the Rookie of the Year for the National League, his rookie year. So we got him back, and Bryce Harper's probably out the picture. But you know what? We'll see what happens. They've made some moves, and we'll see. So I think that's about it for our sports segment, and I think we got to go into our next segment. Mr. Ricky, help me out on this. Next segment, when we bring it up, what we always say, it's our Top 5. And we let our guest, Noreik Thascool, come up with our top 5 this podcast, which related to the theme, which became one of his songs on his EP 1000, which was Illuminate, which was another word he said earlier in the podcast about bringing light. And so we attempted to kind of touch on that throughout the podcast, and that was the theme throughout the podcast. And so he came up with the top 5, which reminded people, Noreik, what was the top 5 he came up with?
The top 5 heroes that kind of like shed light or spread light. So I have my top 5 here, and it was, I'm gonna just kind of like riddle them off. They're all kind of interchangeable.
Yeah. You going 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
I'm gonna go 5 to 1.
Okay.
And I would say number 5 would be Will Smith.
Okay.
And Will Smith, his entertainment has been very influential in my life. The way that he decided to do comedy, and the way that he
didn't go to MIT when he should have at 16.
Yeah, there's just there's so many things with him. He's a very, very smart guy, very well spoken,
and smoking too, right?
I guess so.
And Freudian slip, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's my bad, but
Double B beer break.
Very, very well spoken, and it's dope, like how he's grown, and like just kind of his outlook on things, like when he does speak about it, and like his humor is like really influential for me as how I kind of model my own humor.
Realism.
It's great, it's great.
Because I used to love Fresh Prince. It was like, even though it was a sitcom and a comedy, but he always did what he was naturally from Philly to LA.
The things that he found funny, I also found funny.
Dig it. That's still, 100%. I watch it still right now.
Yeah, it's great. Anytime it's on, I'll watch it. And even as he's grown, he's he knows that his audience that looks at him has grown as well. So now he's gotten more talking about more optimism, talking about more entrepreneurship, and like, you know, how to live a better life, and
good energy, good people.
You know, and like it's.
I was checking his YouTube, his Facebook.
Yeah,
and since I've seen it, like,
he definitely won Instagram. He won Instagram like 100%. 2018, like his videos were amazing.
Yeah,
you know,
real, very inspiring.
Very inspiring. So I just love that he brings humor, brings inspiration. He's an actor, you know, like being able to do movies is really dope. So I put Will Smith as number 5. Number 4, I put my man Quincy Jones.
Okay.
Quincy is
come to a strong, long era.
He's the epitome of
pioneer
of like mastering your music career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he did everything that you can possibly do and maximized his abilities. Like even if he had just a little bit of potential in a certain area, he would really exploit that and then like kill it.
Especially through the Jim Crow era.
Yeah, especially during a Jim Crow era, which told me that like, and he wasn't, from what I know, he's not a violent person. So if he's not a violent person, that means that you used your intellect, you used your
mind
charm,
over muscle.
You used your mind in order to put yourself in these positions in a place where people were discriminating against you.
Word.
You know, and that's really powerful for me, especially in music, because I like to use my mind. I like to use my voice. Like I'd rather talk it out than go to fist.
Right,
if we have to go to fist, then we'll go there. But I feel that there are many stops prior to we get there, you know, before it actually gets there. So I just always think that there's a way, like, he seems like a guy that always will say the right thing to be in the room that you need to be in, you know, and that's something that I admire from him. And for him to have the esteem that he does and to work with the people that he has, that's something that I aspire to do as well.
And a vast variety.
Yeah. From Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson.
Right.
Like, fam, like, are you kidding me? To running entire orchestras and traveling around, you know.
That's why he's considered a pioneer. Huh?
There's so many people that have been touched by him and that he's touched from his impact in music. He's the greatest producer that we have alive right now. Like, that's a fact, you know, and it's cool. You know, he's definitely a guy that has trailblazed, and I like to keep up with his story. And I know he's older now, and I hope that I can work hard enough to get to a place where I can have a conversation with him. And I think that would be amazing.
That would be a dope moment. Yeah.
So then I would go number 3. I would say Elon Musk. And Elon Musk, if for you guys that don't know, he is the creator, or he founded PayPal, co-creator of PayPal, and he created SpaceX and Tesla. And Tesla are the cars, the electric cars.
I knew PayPal when you said that, but then you said Tesla, I'm like,
Tesla and
SpaceX
is right there in Hawthorne. And you know, he's just he's a very smart guy.
Where Northrop used to be.
Yeah, right next
to
the
street from Starbucks and 24-hour Fitness.
And right next to the airport.
And his vision for a better tomorrow, for a more futuristic tomorrow, is something that I just am completely admirable.
In LA.
He's doing
the one that came up with that idea?
Yeah, so he's but like, more importantly, he's a billionaire that is willing to put his money where his mouth is. He's willing to try and create it. Yeah. When those kids were stuck and the miners were stuck in the cave, he tried to come up with a solution. He had his engineers work on a pod that can transport those kids out of that cave. Yeah. And they sent it over there. Did they use it? No, they didn't need it. But he did it. It was available. You know what I mean? Like, he's willing to make that happen. Right. And like, he sent rockets up in the air. Yeah. He's tested satellites. He's created like a dope car company based off the idea of free energy and electric for all. Yeah. You know, and that's what Nikola Tesla was about. You know, and like, for those that don't know, you know, he was the one that originally kind of created the AC adapter, you know, and Edison took that and You know, that's how we got
Edison
electricity.
just was stealing shit like a motherfucker.
Exactly.
Because a black man created the light bulb, and then he claimed that shit too.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck? Y'all white people, no offense, I love white people, but can y'all create shit without stealing shit?
Well, the thing
like,
is that,
historically, that's the real question.
You know, if we go there, they got the short end of the stick.
Not our fault.
No, it's not.
They should have stood and fought.
It's not.
Instead of running.
I'm not gonna advocate. I'm not gonna advocate for it at all. I'm just gonna say that the fact is they got the short end of the stick, and they weren't happy about it.
So now they have some addictive revenge bullshit.
And they did whatever they had to do in order to get a piece of it, and you know, that's our history.
Right.
That has happened. But aside from that, I just appreciate Elon for being, because I've always like. He's the type of guy that if you're someone is like, man, if I had all this money, I would do this.
He'd be like, what you need?
You know what I mean? Like, he's that guy. He's that guy that literally
I have this money,
so I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sounds like a good fucking thing.
And it's like,
that's what I'm talking about.
And that I just appreciate so much, for better or for worse. You know what I mean? Like, that's really dope.
He's trying.
He's not trying.
He's doing.
Remember, trying is a failure.
Yeah, he's doing. And it's only going to get better, you know? And that's a person that I would like to meet. I know that, like, I don't know how much in common we would necessarily have, but I just appreciate a person that is like, I have this wealth, I have this smarts, let me try and use this. Let me use it. Yeah, let me use it for more than just my own personal gain.
Right.
Because I'm losing money here, but I'm also making money. So it's not a big deal, but you know, I just get to do this, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I can respect and appreciate that as well.
Yeah, I would say number 2 is Pharrell Williams. He's my current Quincy. You know, like what Pharrell has done in my space is growing up.
Before you go further, you skateboard.
Oh yeah.
I knew there was a connection. That's why I'd asked.
Yeah, and the thing is, I didn't do it too much because I also. Growing up, I knew that I wasn't supposed to hurt myself.
Right.
I was like, I have too much going on. I have too many like ideas that like if I fall and bust my shit and become a vegetable, like I can't do that. You know what I mean? So like I was like, I never played football. You know, I never did anything that was too extreme, but I would always cruise. You know, on a skateboard or on a bike or whatever. But aside from that, it's more of just the slick style. You know, the style, the palette, the color palette, the way he approaches.
All the way from nerds until he came into the hip hop industry.
He was always dope to me, and I learned a lot more about him on the Voice.
Yeah.
When he was on the Voice.
Yeah.
I missed that episode.
He was one of that season. He was there.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, he was one of the better coaches because you could actually get to know him through that show and how he
just how he thinks, you know,
exactly.
and how he creates music,
how he assesses talent, you know, and then
he was sharing his real passion.
Yeah,
he wasn't playing TV role. He was being for real.
And he knows how to use his abilities, and that's something that I really admire from him. And like he cares about the environment, cares about sustainability. Those are all things that I care about as well. And he's created initiatives to support that, you know. Yeah. And yeah, you know, that's somebody that
I saw his name pop up on something recent, and I was like, what? Yeah, some environmental shit, but
yeah, he does all that kind of stuff, and he's somebody that while I was starting my career, I was like, if I could sign to anybody, it would be Pharrell, like Star Trek, like I would want to be signed to.
He's definitely open-minded.
Yeah, and you know, and he's come up with other ventures, and I don't think Star Trek is operating as a record label anymore. I don't know what it is, but. You know, just being able to meet him and to have some sort of like mentorship, like where I can hit him and be like, yo, check out this song. He's like, yo, I got you. You know, that would be really dope. You know? So I'm trying to like manifest that because I think that's somebody who is well within my reach, you know, just based on my own trajectory of my career and what I want to do. If I succeed in that, then this person will be somebody that I will come across. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of like hoping for that. And so that's my number 2. And my number 1, I would probably say we spoke about him earlier, and that is Spider-Man and Stan Lee. You know, what Stan Lee has provided for us is nothing short of brilliant. Nothing short of amazing. Like we've been able to see ourselves.
I was gonna say, I hear what he said. It's like
it's not just entertaining.
He made it
way
though.
Beyond that.
You're able to use your imaginative self in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. And
that was me as a kid. Yeah.
And like Captain America was probably like number 2 for me as a superhero.
All right, that's top.
No, I mean it's not on my top 5, but it's just like when he was before he became Captain America.
Yeah.
Right.
When he was just Steve Rogers, he was
Rogers.
still embodied what it took to be Captain America.
Yeah,
right.
And being that little dude, underdog, getting his ass whipped.
And that's the difference between like DC and Marvel.
Yeah.
Like DC, Superman, Batman, all those things, all those stories are great. But you can't see yourself as them.
No.
Right.
That's something that you just read, and you see them go through things.
I can
and
agree
you
with that
connect
too.
with maybe what they go through, but you aren't them.
Yeah.
But with Marvel, they've made it so important that the people behind, like, something happens to a person and it turns them into a superhero.
Yeah.
They aren't just like
they started out as a regular person.
Everyone started out as a regular person, and depending on their trauma, their background, their triggers, whatever it is for their growth, they were now forced to grow in a way that that commanded. And a lot of times it was the thing, the metaphor there is something happened to them to bring them out of their comfort zone, and they had to grow into what needed to happen there. And that translates to us as people, everybody, regardless. And for him, a sign of a genius is taking something complicated and simplifying it.
Word.
And for Stan Lee to take our human experience and simplify it into something like that and giving people powers to try and make it
variety series of it.
Series after series after series, and just it always be interchanged with a different vessel, but overall the same type of messaging.
Awesome.
Can't beat that, man.
Yeah.
You can't beat that type of impact.
That's top 5. That's top 5.
Who's next?
I'll go next. I'll start with my number 5. It's much related to what he was just saying, except mine's is Wolverine.
Nice.
The reason I like Wolverine is because he's able to heal himself, which reminds me of the fact that we all can heal ourselves. We all can heal in time, and it just takes a matter of moments for us to be able to do that. How fast is based on on you as a person. Also because he never feared any opponent, no matter how big he was, no how hard the challenge was. He never gave it thought before he went into his battle with that opponent.
Let's go.
And
that's
he would go into it. And like much like he said that there's ways that the superheroes can relate to you. Not that we are superheroes, but there's a lot of things that they have as superhero strengths that we embody as human beings.
We have abilities.
Right, we do have abilities. And some of those abilities, it just reminds us, and those abilities, I think Stan Lee did a good job. I'm not saying specifically with Wolverine, but as superheroes that he did, he took some of the things that we are able to do as human beings and make them superpowers.
Yeah.
So that you can, it just reminds us as a whole of humans that you're able to do this. Right, exactly. Right. Now, my 4th one would be all my civil rights leaders for paving the way for us to be able to have these rights that allow us to be cohesive with one another and allow us to exercise those rights that they went through blood, sweat, and tears to get done, and just some of the hardships that they endured for us to be able to even be sitting here right now as black and brown folks, to be able to just sit here and be able to cross those lines, those barriers and lines, and be able to come on a platform and get together and discuss the things that we're discussing today.
Word.
My 3rd would be my mom and dad, who they took home early. Basically, I just got to thinking about it recently too. I started looking at some of the things that they lived in their lives, and you know what, I got to witness it, of course, because they're my parents. But they showed me a lot that, and no matter what they went through, that they never gave up. They continued on and kept pushing forward and persevered, and that I think was the number one life lesson that Jesus showed me, that in life that your parents, and that's why they're put in your life, is for you to learn and be able to establish who you are along the lines of growing up, and your most growth is going to come from them, obviously, because they're the ones who have the most influence from coming out of the womb until however long you're blessed to have them.
Yeah.
And it's a blessing to have them. So my number 2 is it's actually a newfound heroes that I just started my job with. I work for Housing for Health. I'm part of the CBEST team. I went to they help the homeless and the disabled and the veterans out there. I got to recently go to a meeting, my second day there. And the team is comprised of a lot of women. There are men involved into it, but the ones that I got to see at the meeting were women, and it impressed me of how passionate and how intelligent these ladies were about their job, and it gave me a newfound insight to what I want to be like. It motivated me in a major way that it got me really excited about my new community health worker job that I just got, and it just. It just made me want to continue to proceed and to go after intelligence and be able to battle this homeless situation that we're facing right now.
Epidemic. It's not a situation. It's an epidemic.
And to be able to help that population, it gave me a new passion and insight to it. So I just give a shout out to the CBEST team out there. Now, my number 1, of course, is obvious. I apologize for kind of being obvious for this one, but it's Jesus, who's responsible for the life lessons that he taught me, and how my growth, that no matter what, from having that he taught my growth and no growth to growth.
Yeah.
He showed me that I can do all things through him who strengthens me, and that I'm just glad that I got to know him as a personal savior, because without him, I'd still be where I was at, stuck in a position of just.
Where was that?
Tell the world. Let them know. No shame.
I just recently got out of using drugs. I was caught up in using meth. I was pumping that poison into my vein, and without Jesus.
You graduated. Wait a minute.
I mean, yeah.
You say pumping into your vein.
Yeah.
That nigga went from smoking it to shooting it.
So I'm just thankful. I'm really thankful that even in the midst of my addiction, along the way, they say that when you're weakest is when you see God the most, and right. I can attest to that, because when I was going through that addiction, God was there. And he was speaking to me the most while I was in that addiction.
Yeah, because while you're right there, tell them about that story when you were about to jump off the bridge, commit suicide.
Right. Well, that would be a specific. See, I was so caught up in it, and meth is so deadly of a poison that it gets you to the point where you don't want to live no more. Because everything, you start drawing in the negative so much, it becomes so dark of a situation that you have no way out of it, that you just want to take your life. And I speak for those people because I know what it's like to be in that position. But one day I went to the bridge, and I was in Jansen Beach, Oregon, which is right outside of Portland, and I went to kill myself. I was gonna go jump off a bridge, and it happened. This is a freeway bridge it's the I-5 up there, and it's from Vancouver into Portland. And as I was crossing that bridge into Portland, a lady who broke down in her car, who had 3 children in the car, broke down in the middle of this bridge. And the bridge, it comes from a blind corner onto the bridge, so you can't see nothing coming onto that bridge. If a car's broke down, you're liable to hit it. And as that lady got out of her car, and I was like, no, get your kids and get back in the car. And I ran along the cement pylon, and I was directing traffic, telling them to go around, because she had broke down and ran out of gas, and the car started rolling back. Well, I ended up saving her life, and I got a trucker to call the police by signaling them, and he ended up calling the police and the tow truck and all them, and then finally by me waving, and I'm literally telling you, there was cars coming within inches of hitting this lady's car. And if I hadn't been there, I imagine that it would have happened, because if I wouldn't have got on that pylon and telling traffic to go to the next lane, they would have just slammed into her. So that night I ended up going to take a life, and I ended up saving 4 lives.
Wow.
That's how real God is. And you know, I'm not bragging that I did it, because it wasn't me. It by all means, I was put in a situation where let's see what you're gonna do now.
Well, you needed to see the value of life.
I was about to say, God was like, you can't take your life. I have you here for a reason.
Ever since that night, the lessons that he's offered, and I kind of saw it, because even in the midst of my struggles, he kept throwing life lessons at me, because he knew who I was and what I'm capable of doing, but he knew how my eyes were open to it. And ever since then, I look for the smallest things in life to learn a lesson out of. I'll see it, and I'll keep my mind open up. Sometimes I'll have my mind closed. We all do that. We have our times and we have our moments. But for the most part, I'll take the smallest thing and be like, you know what? That's a lesson right there. If you have, and I encourage everybody out there to always keep your mind open, and your eyes open, and your ears open, because it's then that he's speaking to you, and you just gotta look for those life lessons.
What he said right there is my motto. I always say, if you stop complaining in the moment of negativity that occurs in your life, and disfocus, that's grumbling. Disfocus is the devil's tricks. So while he got you all mad and angry and disfocused, the blessing just passed right by. So now it's sitting in that room on the shelf.
I just want to say something.
Faith Street, it's all about faith.
The one thing that I like to say is that in those life lessons, there are going to be failures. But guess what? Even in your failures, there's success. And because then you know what you're able and capable of doing, or you might be able to find out that even though you failed at what you're trying to do, that you're able to do it because of that failure.
That's good.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going out of my normal character here.
Leave me last, huh?
Because normally I'm the closer on the top five.
I'm the best for last, but I'm last. Okay, go ahead.
So, my top five, y'all take this one funny, but I don't give a damn. Myself.
Okay.
Because one of my brothers in the neighborhood one day, my brother James J-Bone Pruitt, we standing outside, and wifey met him. And we just chopping it up, next to each other, going through the homeless moment. And he said to me one day, like, dude, you're a hero. You're my hero. And I was fucked up, like, what? And the point of what he meant was, I got shot up in 1990. I just celebrated 28 years, going to 29 years this year on 420. It'll be 29 years, but God bless me to be a part of this podcast and this Black and Brown movement, and with my brothers here. I survived being shot 13 times. All at once. That's Presse for y'all who don't know English. 13 times I took hot lead all over my body except for the chest and the head, and was left for dead on the side of my mother's bedroom window. Good. And the basic moral to the story is, I never panicked. And when the first shot that I seen the flame out the muzzle come out, I asked God, what part of the game is this? And he had told me not to worry, because I chose to walk with him instead of the pistol I did have in the house. And be hood-minded, I was spiritual-minded. So by me being spiritual-minded, I'm still blessed to be here. Because I'd have been with the pistol, 5-shot 32, versus 16-shot 9mm. And that nigga's nickname was Hitman. I'm just a nigga that grew up in the hood to learn how to shoot a pistol, because I was tired of niggas shooting at me for no reason.
I can tell you this, man. You're not on the list on the top 5, but you're definitely on my list as a hero.
Oh yeah.
Based on all the shit.
Both of you guys are on my list. It's just that's
based
top
on
5.
All the shit you've been through, and the fact that you've come through it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're definitely an inspiration and hero to me.
So with that being said, I chose myself because some of the things that my brother just said, but what my brother J-Bone said that day was like, wow, I got shot up in the hood, and I still go to the hood, to the park, and talk with brothers, but I've always been like, my little brother, Lil Bullock, called me Marcus Farrakhan. I was like, well, fuck it, I'll be Marcus Farrakhan because I care. You know what I'm saying? I'm the big homie that you got, but you don't got. Because the quote-unquote, you know what I'm saying, every nigga in the hood whose big homie really is, never really is a big homie, because a big homie is a big brother. And a big brother is a leader to give you guidance to not fall into traps to fuck off your life. Well, unfortunately, growing up in the ghetto, our big homies, they got caught up in, the CIA, the cocaine transmitters. They got caught up in their transpiring trickery into our communities, And so most of our big homies ended up being smoked out. And so there was no more guidance for the brothers in the hood growing up. You know what I'm saying? So they lost their way. And I, growing up in the hood, I always talk to all my young brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, you don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta, I remember to this day, man, there's a couple of young brothers, one of our brothers, you know what I'm saying, low down, rest in peace, Lil Howie. And then he ended up joining the hood, you know. It happens because we're in the trap. And he's not here today. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the pressures of life, you gotta have support. And, you know, the hood will support you. And my man ended up getting murdered, you know, victim of hood life. And I always go to tell these youngsters to not do it. You know what I mean? Because it's not what it once was.
And you're being a hero to them by doing that.
You know what I'm saying? Because the life back in the day of gangbanging, it was more camaraderie and, you know what I'm saying, organizations.
It's about policing the neighborhood.
Right.
And protecting the neighborhood.
Right, where now it's just a whole bunch of fucking foolery, you know what I'm saying, a whole bunch of tomfoolery and bullshit.
We still on your number 5?
Yeah, because I was breaking wide, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, this is my sarcastic funny brother. Right. And then, you know, from that point...
Don't judge me. It's my 4th beer, but don't judge me.
Hey, I'll take another one. And number 4 would be the presence of why I'm here, not God himself, because of course that's why first, but my mom. My mom is my hero because
that's right.
She endured, you know, being a single mom, growing up in the 70s, and not really have a high educational level.
Shout
you know
out
what
to
I'm saying?
Mama
But she figured out how to migrate into, this is where I got some of what I do. My mom worked at Schrock back in the day. A lot of people wouldn't know what that is, but it was basically a youth outlet for students in high school before they graduated to help prepare them for graduation or either give them job training skills. And she worked in the district of the school and worked for them and helped a lot of youngsters back in the day get jobs and so forth. So that's where I got my, you know what I'm saying, my community help skills from, and you know what I'm saying, from my mom. And she's my hero because she was my mom, but she was also my father, because I grew up without a dad. And this is why I say she's my hero, because in 6th grade, I went to Double Elementary, which is now called Tom Bradley. During the 6th grade, we had for all the 6th graders, we had a Father Sunday. And I didn't go Father Sunday because at that time, I wasn't aware about, you know, I knew Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, God then, but I didn't know about not being shamed. And so I didn't go to Father Sunday that day because I didn't have a father to go with. But my mom, I was growing up being my father, a dad-like entity. She was like, yo, you know, she didn't say yo, of course, but she's like, what's up, son? I'll take you to Father Sunday, I'll go with you. And me being prideful young man, you know what I'm saying, even at that age of 12 or 13, I was 12. I was like, nah, Mom, you know what I'm saying? Because the niggas I went to school with, they were bougie niggas, the Tigra, you know what I'm saying? I always had to deal with that, and that was going to be a problem because I was going to whoop ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to have to deal with that. I already dealt with enough of that being little. So I was like, nah, I'm good. Don't, you know. Of course, I cried about it, you know what I'm saying? Because it really hurt that my father, who I'm named after, my name is Marcus, which means in spirituality a warrior for Jesus' righteousness. I fight my leech of death, no matter right or wrong, because it's not about me. And my middle name is Drenay, and it means a strong defender of mankind. So I know who I am, and I've fully have learned after these 28 years of being here again, my life purpose. So the life I'm living is not mine. So I thank my mom for planting that seed. August 7th, 1977 is when I began to know the Lord Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And the devil been trying to kill me since age 3 or 4. No, before that. But he had his hand on me then. A piece of glass in the laundry room where we lived, me and my cousin brother was back there farting around, you know, doing what kids do at 3 or 4. And nigga hit the glass and the shit fell like an icicle. And literally, I have a scar on my thigh right here to this day, where 2 more inches, little anaconda would have never been Anaconda. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be here because a nigga would have bled to death. You know what I mean? But God had his hand on me then. You know what I mean? So bless up to moms for planting that seed and always being encouraging to tell me to be a leader. Because she also told me at 16, when I really was trying to get out of town and go move that weight with my crew, she was like, nah, told my big bro, please, she begged and prayed, please don't do it. And I don't respect for me, don't, because we had fell out and I was out of here. But my brother, to this day, loved to death, loved and respected moms, and he didn't, send me that ticket, which I'm thankful for. Because I didn't catch a bunch of cases and shit that probably would have caught along the way, doing what we do. Mm-hmm. So moving on to number 3, I'm giving our shouts out to disabled people. Especially my people in the wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? Because
all our vets out there too, man.
I'm disabled, but I call myself handicapable because I still have all body functions and full access to use all of my body parts. Yeah. So when I see the brother while I'm walking on campus to go to class, and I might be struggling today physically because my back and herniated disc or whatever the fuck is hurting like hell, but I see this brother weaving up the same incline, pushing it on his way to class. I'm not tapping brothers, and I stop them all the time, wherever I'm at, and I tell them thank you. And they look at me all crazy, like, what? I let them know they're my inspiration because they inspire me to keep pushing as a disabled because they're even more challenged. They're on 2 wheels, and all they have is this upper body muscle of their arms to wheel and get over these fucked up terrains that are being improved as we speak, but previously they really had obstacles that they had to deal with, to get to class or wherever the fuck, you know what I mean, and they never gave up. So that inspired me to continue on my furthering education, and despite the disabilities and the politics that I kept encountering, not to give up. So that's my number 3. And, you know what I mean? And then my number 2, that y'all just said, is the veterans. You know what I'm saying? Because without them, we wouldn't be even having this podcast. This shit would be run by some fucking Nazis. So shouts out to all the veterans that hold us down, past tense and present. You know what I mean? And to some personal, my brother Sadaka, my brother Anthony Johnson, call him Ty. You know what I mean? My brother Carlton Gray, you know what I'm saying? A few other brothers, Darkside. Those are a few brothers just to name that I know have personally served. And I appreciate and thank you as well personally. Oh, my brother Chewy, as well. Yes, sir. And so on to my number 1, the Almighty Heavenly Father. A lot of us, we call him God, Jesus Christ, Jesus Cristo in Spanish, but Jah with all my Rasta man. You know what I mean? He is the entity of my existence. Without him today, I wouldn't even be nothing. So that's my number 1 because he's the reason why I breathe every day while the devil goes all in while I'm sleeping, but we keep taking his pot. So shouts out to my Almighty Father.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Another hell of a top 5, man. You guys are killing me over here. So I don't know how I'm going to follow all of that, but I'm going to give you mine. My number 5 is my wife and kids. For numerous reasons. My wife,
that's what's up.
She's been down with me for a long time through a lot of bullshit that I put her through.
I know some of that.
For those who don't know, my brother Mark is that's his sister, his only real sibling, other than, his direct immediate sibling, other than his brother.
We have the same mother, is what he's saying. Right. We are biologically entities of the same.
Yeah, but my wife has been a hero to me, inspirationally, being not only just a wife to me, but the mother to my children, a strong black woman. The things that we've been through personally, the things I've seen her go through, her and her family, including Marcus and as he said, his mother, they all together taught me a lot, you know what I'm saying, and helped me up in my bad times. And so, you know, definitely gotta give a shout out to my wifey, and then my kids individually. My son Jalen, you know, the fact that his dad, who's born a day before me, you know, him and I have those similarities, and the fact that we've been cool, you know, since I've been with, you know,
a blended family.
Yeah, we're a blended family, and I've been cool with him and his wife, and you know, we've you know,
there's never been no
Jalen's
tension.
21st birthday, we all went, you know, as family
to Vegas. That shit was fun.
His birthday, and you know, we've always been good. And Jalen, you know, is a special kid.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To my son Jawan, who's my twin.
Bubba.
You know, he's inspired me, basically, you know, just, you know, going through the things he's went through individually. The fact that he was honest with himself, knowing that he didn't like school, wasn't good at it, still graduated and got his diploma, and told me and his mom he wasn't going to college. And, you know, when I told him, well, you know what you got to do, you know, he went out and got his first job.
And have excelled.
And yeah, you know, he's been doing his thing ever since. And so, you know, he inspires me. He's one of my heroes.
Can you just expound on his please, I need you to just give a little bit of testimony about that kid of yours.
I mean, you know, he's had some issues, and, you know, he's overcome those issues. He was attacked at his job, and, you know, he's
by some homeless guy.
Yeah, by a homeless person. You know, and you know, he broke his arm from that attack. But, you know, he's got PTSD over that. But, you know, he went to therapy, and he has his own apartment in Westwood. And he's just been doing his thing ever since he.
But at Chick-fil-A, he's the man.
Yeah.
In Westwood.
Yeah, so, you know, he's definitely a hero of mine, inspiration of mine. He's my twin, loves everything that I love, and we love each other. My son Josiah,
beautiful.
Elijah, Felipe Brox, who's named after my little brother, rest in peace. Has both his first and middle name, and has my middle name. He was born 5 weeks premature, and actually saved my wife, because my wife had pneumonia, walking pneumonia, and didn't know. And his labor that was induced, the labor that was induced from him, you know, I gotta get out of here, even though it's 5 weeks premature. Made her go to the hospital. They caught the pneumonia.
Know that.
Yeah, he saved her life.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he saved her life.
Fuck.
And then when he, you know, was born, he was in the NICU for like a month.
Niggas,
you know, jaundice and everything else. You know,
born with a hole in his heart.
Born with a hole in his heart.
8 millimeter hole in his heart.
Two medical procedures before he was 1 year old.
Heart surgery.
You know, and played football.
Killer.
And was a beast.
Little Balamalo.
He's always been this super strong personality and mind.
Strong-minded.
Spirit. And, you know, that has always been an inspiration to me, and has always been like his uncle, rest in peace. Like his uncle who's living here. You know, they've you know, had instilled that in him genetically or whatever. But
yeah, because they call us he's Mojo Jojo and I'm Mojo. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you know, he's an inspiration to me.
His son, but it's like he's like me, and that shit was like, what the?
Well, you know, it takes a village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he grew up with OCD, and he's gotten over it, and you know, he's thriving right now, and so he's definitely
highly intelligent.
And then my final child, Jasmine,
superstar,
who's been cheering since she was 4. She's now 12, going on 13 next month, and she's won multiple national championships. Okay. She's been a super student.
Superstar.
Always, you know, she's always daddy's girl, always looking out and doing her thing. She's a super baker and all.
Super baker.
You know, so
that's awesome.
My kids are definitely heroes and inspirations to me.
Okay.
So let me move on to number 4, which is Julio Cesar Chavez.
All right. Big ass respect.
did a lot of research on him.
Julio.
No UAs.
Yeah.
No break.
And United Farm Workers. And, you know, to see the stuff that he did and he did with his people and my people and our people's was definitely a big inspiration to me. He was a hero. I got to combine these two at number 3, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
I was about to say, because him and Martin Luther King was black and brown when they did the march. So, it's like...
Not to mention the Black Panthers and the Brown Berets.
Right. Exactly. And those were all my thoughts.
The whole Chicano movement, actually, not just the Brown Berets.
Those were all my thoughts when I thought of these guys. So you guys are on point. And the contrast between Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, by no means necessary, and the non-violence.
You said by all means necessary, you mean. You said by no means.
By any means necessary. And so the contrast between their ideals, you know, was...
Oh yeah, that was Karen.
It was huge to me, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I took something from both of them, and then the fact of Malcolm X and how he went to Mecca and learned that, you know, Muslims came in all shapes, sizes, and colors and creeds, and came back to America and realized that, you know, he needed to change his philosophy, and then that's when he was taken out by his own people. His story, I read the book by Haley, obviously Spike Lee's movie, always followed and admired in Malcolm X.
Sometimes you gotta let it out.
My number 2, I'm gonna end my top 5 with 2 actual superheroes, a male and a female. Number 2 for me is Wonder Woman.
Right.
And I gotta give it up to women. I love women for more.
We wouldn't be here without them.
For more than one reason, you know what I'm saying?
Mother Earth.
You know, as you said, giving props to moms, you know, we gotta do that, Mother Earth. But Wonder Woman, you know, an Amazon woman, she was the chosen of her people, and, you know, she fought for righteousness, and she was just a beast. And you know, carried that mantle. For sure. And then the what is the lasso? The lasso of truth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You cannot lie.
Right. That was huge.
Clutch weapon.
Yeah.
Right.
That was huge for me. But yeah, so Wonder Woman's my number 2, and then I gotta share my number 1 with our guest, Noreik Thascool, Spider-Man.
Spidey is the man, yo.
You know, I always wanted.
He was hard. He didn't have no super weapon.
You know,
he was a human being, created some webbing, you know, and kicked ass against villains bigger than him.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely gotta give it up to Spider-Man. I appreciate everybody's top 5, man. It was all dope. It was a dope concept, a dope theme.
Yeah, definitely, man.
We're probably gonna have to break this podcast into 2, you know,
two episodes. Part 2 parts, part 1, part 2.
But we're kind of, you know, coming to the end of it here. After our top 5, we usually end it, and we're right at about an hour on each one.
All right, cool.
It kind of worked out quite perfectly. So
sweet, man.
Before we go, we all usually try to, you know, what you got going on in the future, any future dates?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I got some shows coming up. I have a show on March 2nd. That's gonna be a live and kickin' presented by Blue Chips. That's gonna be at the NOS Event Center in Riverside. I'll be doing also Payday LA at the Virgil at March 26th. So if you guys are available to come out for that, definitely come out for that. It's gonna be a good show.
Where is that at, the Virgil?
At the Virgil, yeah, in Payday I don't know. It'll be my first time attending the actual venue, so I
what city is that in?
It's in LA.
Okay.
In Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, I know where that's at.
Yeah.
I think that's near where Medusa had her club at.
Yeah, but look, you can look it up, the Virgil. Okay.
Yeah, the Virgil. Yeah, you'll be able to find it. And then I'm doing the Hop Festival, the Happiness of Pursuit Festival. That's put on by my boy 60 East, and the homie Noah James is gonna be.
Oh, I know Noah James.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
Noah James is an awesome guy.
Noah James is a very awesome guy, and he's
and
definitely.
For a big brother. He rocks the fucking stage,
yo.
Yeah. He rocks the stage.
Is crazy, and like
it's illuminating, yo. Like
yeah,
real talk.
The theme of our
his energy and his passion, and him as a person. He's a real good dude, yo.
And he's definitely
still never made it to his little club. He does a club out I know,
over in the IE,
Yeah, I used to live out in San Bernardino. Me and wifey, we were on the list. We just never made it out there because transportation. But he does big stuff, community. Yeah. That guy, Noah James, is a real good dude.
And you should definitely keep up with him because he's going to continue to do good stuff. He's a staple in the San Bernardino IE community. Okay. And if you're making music, you should know who he is, and he should know who you are. That's just the way that it is, you know what I mean? Right. So definitely big ups to him, Brick to Your Face, Jay, like their whole crew. Everybody who's impacted,
to Your Face. Right.
And influenced by them. You know, definitely shouts out to them. So, but yeah, man. So the Hop Festival, Happiness in Pursuit, it's gonna be on April 6th.
2 days before his wife's birthday.
And you know they're gonna have a launch party on February 8th. Afro, Offlo's.
Afro?
Yeah, Afro, yeah.
Oh, I'm there.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to see that guy. That young kid is keeping hip hop alive.
Hey, do me a favor real quick too. Give everyone how they can
find me.
You. Yeah.
Okay, so if you guys want to follow me, my Instagram is @Thascool, and it's just Thascool, THASCOOL.
Real simple, folks.
Yeah, you can Google that, and it will take you straight to me. And
just like the Black and Brown movement.
Yep.
That's what I'm talking about. Real simple.
So real simple, and it's just Thascool, THASCOOL. Connect with me, send me a DM. I'll reach back out to you, and I can send you whatever information you guys need. But it's gonna be a cool next couple of months. You know, festival season is on the way. I got some music videos coming out. You know what I mean? So still gonna be working on those, and I should have some release dates soon.
Yeah, well, let us know, man. We'll come on cameo and shit. You know.
Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure.
We got some shit coming out as well.
Yeah, we got some videos and shit we getting ready to get to do.
Yeah, I mean, be looking for that for all of Noreik Thascool and all of his peoples and all his shout outs. You heard him on the podcast. This is Black and Brown
Big
Movement.
ups to Noah James.
Yeah, big ups to Noah James. This is Black and Brown Movement Radio Podcast, episode 25.
Deuce 5.
25. And, you know, we got a lot of stuff coming in the pipeline. Be looking out, positive mental, positive minded. I keep saying positive mental attitude, positive
minded. That's where it comes from.
What's on your mind? That's what's on the mind.
It's the positive mental. Anyway, positive minded apparel, hip hop for the people, Black and Brown Movement, In the Cut Productions. You know, check it out. And you'll see video and pictures of, you know, all of us here. And, like we always do when we end these podcasts, what do we usually say, folks?
One love and one movement. Bless up, world.
Yeah, bless up.
Bless up.
Yeah.
You got a choice, such a hard decide. Illuminate, 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 illuminate. Like a star that fell out the sky, my only wish is to maximize. Look, learn to recognize the light and you'll be alright. Gotta look deep inside and you'll see a side that you never seen before in your entire life. To get there, gotta be honest, I'm doing it right. Keep all your comments, jokes, and posts, cause I'm blowing smoke on the East Coast. Off consonants, managed to make a whole conscious shift. Began through these notes. That's when I knew I had the power, knew I had the juice. All organic, never had the powder. All my women sweet, they ain't never sour. All my homies with it, they don't ever cower. We too proud for that. We don't ever let them rain on parades. We just light so bright, get rid of shade. House sway, check it out. If your light is your soul, your heart's a lighthouse. Gotta show love and find the right route. Don't judge, maybe you can take a time out to really know how you feel. Before you go for the kill. Make sure you come correct and you with respect. Every time we intersect, maybe we'll connect. And if you just out of reach, I'm willing to extend, cause we all looking for an outlet. Illuminate, 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 illuminate. When it feels like it's dark outside, you got a choice, such a hard decide. Illuminate, 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 illuminate. Like a star that fell out the sky, my only wish is to maximize. In the sky, in the sky. Move to space, space and time. In the sky, in the sky. Move to space, space and time. Oh,
shining, gleaming. Fire burning, still dreaming. Finding work, planning season. Branching out till we leaving. Getting lit in your region. Interest sparked and I'm beaming. Crown is open, I see it. Season profits all season. This little light of mine, never dim, giving sight to blind. Yo, peep gaming, detach your mind from distractions that trap your time. See potential and maximize it. Grand scheme, don't pass it by. Passion rising, else beneath us, goals and reach moments of finance. Stay devoted, no divine, it's so timeless. Love help you catch alignment, don't fight.
Illuminate, 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 illuminate. When it feels like it's dark outside, you got a choice that your heart decides.